Hello and welcome to the Channeling JT podcast. This is episode 5, and my name is Sarina Baptista, and I am JT's mother in this incarnation. JT, of course, is a beautiful master soul. He has so much wisdom, and he wanted to create this podcast to impart this wisdom to you. Today, we're going to talk about a difficult subject. Earlier in the month, a friend's son committed suicide. Her son was very forthcoming in bringing her messages immediately within hours after his passing. I was able to give her information about why he did what he did and all of his regrets. This led me to contemplate a little bit about other families and how they might not get that closure, and that it's not bad enough to have their loved one gone, but taken by their own hand. Having their loved one take their own life adds so much complication to the grief and to the confusion that those of us here endure. So I'm asking JT to help us understand this a little bit more. And his first thought is, why would you think that leaving in this manner would create more issue than not? It does not create more issue. Those who leave in this manner have chosen to on some level. Now, I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to interpret that for you because I know this is a difficult concept. One of the questions that my friend asked me was he supposed to leave? And the answer is yes, that her son had an early exit. What that means is that he was not going to stay here. He was not going to stay in his body. How he left, though, is very different. He did not contract to commit suicide, but he did contract to leave early. There's a huge distinction there. When someone does take their own life, no matter how that occurs, there is always an early exit for them. The reason this is important to understand is because if you are not supposed to go, you will not go. Think of all of the quote-unquote failed suicides that you hear about, people trying to take their lives and not being successful. That's not random. It's not random because they weren't smart enough to know how to kill themselves. It was purposeful because they were not supposed to go. For my friend's son, he definitely had an exit coming up, and his incarnation here chose to take the early exit. I'm going to let JT continue with his thoughts. The other thing to consider, he says, is that when they leave this way, they do get to see your pain. They get to see the anguish. They understand from a different perspective what their actions have done. And of course, they are sorry for what they have created, meaning that they are sorry for the energy and the stigma that was created for you, their loved one, when they left in that manner. Many have regrets, but also many say they are grateful to be done with the lifetime. I'm going to interject again here, the human Sarina here, to explain that just a little bit. That doesn't mean that they didn't love you. That doesn't mean they don't regret the pain caused. But the reason they took their life in the first place was because of the pains they were experiencing and most likely mental anguish, mental instability, mental illness. No one in their right mind takes their own life. So they were not thinking properly. And they were grateful. All of them were grateful to be out of the incarnation because it was so uncomfortable for them to be here. If your loved one left by their own hand, look back. You know that they were having difficulties. Even if it was like my friend's son, who didn't show them outwardly. Looking back on their actions, looking back on their decisions, absolutely, there was confusion, uncertainty, and they truly felt that there was no other way to survive this. Most who take their own lives do so because, first of all, they want out of the pain, the constant pain that they feel. Now, that doesn't mean that you have caused them pain. It means that the pain that they have felt in their lives, which could be from many different sources, please don't take it on that this was your fault, because it absolutely was not. The other part of this is they feel they're doing their families a favor by taking themselves out, because they feel they are such a burden that they don't contribute to the family. So they feel this is their only option. Know that to be true, and that this was not done to spite you. This was not done to harm you. They obviously were having huge struggles. So let's get back to what JT has to say about this. It is not so much about what they did to exit their incarnation. It is, did they get the job done while they were here? For those who have exited in this fashion, most say that they got a lot done in this incarnation and that their soul advances because of this. We have to remember that we are not just the incarnation. We are the soul. It is all about the soul and the learning and the processing of information that we gain from coming into incarnation. So by doing what they did, they are still learning about the incarnation and about their project, which was that incarnation. So understand that those who do exit in this manner are not punished. They are not chastised. We understand that this is just another exit point. The soul understands this is just another exit point. For humans left behind, it is a struggle and added grief to have this type of passing. And what we would like to say to you from this other space, from your beautiful loved ones, those beautiful souls, is to remember who you are. This is only one incarnation of many that you have lived and learned, and that you also will understand so much more when you come back home. We are not condoning leaving by your own hand and suggest that you stay and fulfill your contract on earth. But we want to give hope and understanding to those affected by someone leaving in this manner, that they are still whole, loved, pure, and highly advanced. These souls who endure these lifetimes are not, as you would say, newbies. These energies have incarnated over and over again and understand the different levels of incarnation and soul progress. Please do not worry about your loved one. They are here with us, and we are all one here. It is important to have closure if your loved one left in this manner, and we encourage you to reach out to your loved one to get those answers. They are right here with us and with you. Understand that there is no separation of soul, and also understand that your lessons in this are of love, compassion, understanding, acceptance, and many others. We are here to assist you in bringing those lessons into your incarnation and to help you with the closure that you need. Life does not end when the body ceases to function, regardless of how that body ceased. Remember, spirit lives forever. That's JT's message for today. I would like to close by saying that over the years, I have had the pleasure of talking with many of those souls who have left by their own hand, and each and every one has given me understanding of how this process works when we leave our bodies. For them, of course, it was abrupt, unexpected, and forced. I think that's appropriate to say. But at the same time, they all say how much love they have for their loved ones who they left behind, and that they are here for them. Very important to understand that your loved one's not mad at you. They might have been mad in this incarnation, but all of that leaves, all of that dissipates, disintegrates when they cross over to the other side. So understand the love lives forever as well. They live forever, you live forever, love lives forever. And love is what we take with us. And of course, the understanding of the lessons that we are supposed to learn in this incarnation. So as much as this brings pain to those who are left behind, please understand that your loved ones are okay, that they understand now more than ever what their part was in all of this, what they could have done differently, what they could have done the same. They get to see it all, and they get to see it from our perspective, from those left behind. That's not adding to their junk, let's say. It is just an awareness that they have so that they can comfort us and that they understand what we need here. Because those who have lost loved ones in this manner might require some additional assistance in understanding life, death, and everything in between. I encourage all of you, anyone who has been touched by this, to reach out to your loved one on the other side, to reach out to that energy and ask them to come and help you to understand what happened. It's okay to want that closure. It's also okay to be mad as hell that they did this. But understand that this truly wasn't preventable. Because again, if they were supposed to stay here, they would have been forced to stay. JT is always here to assist you in life's adventures. And I also open my door to all of you who might need a little assistance in connecting with those loved ones. You can find out more about me at bridgetohealing.com, more about JT at channelingjt.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a beautiful rest of your day.